S&T Revisited. Okay, so this video, I guess I'm doing this because of request. Video by request. This is my airsoft cabinet. That would be the real steel cabinet. But anyway, yeah, we're going to do this video by request. We're going to review, once again, the S&T, what they call the Matrix. I know there's another model that is actually called Matrix that is made by Matrix, but this is made by S&T, and they call it the Matrix. I think nowadays the Eagle, a company called Eagle, I'm not up on everything. A company called Eagle makes a very similar gun, which is interchangeable with this gun. So I think that the S&T is no longer available, but it's basically the same under Eagle. So anyway, we're going to take a quick review on this gun. A revisitation. All right, very lightweight. I'm going to start with the magazines. This is a GHK magazine, which is compatible with the S&T. And this is, kind of like a PMag style. And then you have your standard magazine. This is the actual magazine that comes with the S&T. One thing about this magazine that I like, it has a dry fire control on it. And it's like right here. And what you do is you push down on the feeder and throw the switch, and you'll be able to dry fire with this magazine. Now, the GHK magazine does not have that option, but it works. And, you can use this with the S&T or the Eagle. And there aren't too many magazine options that you're going to find. I mean, when you start looking for magazines for the S&T, you're going to have a problem. You're not going to be able to find too many of them. And I waited a long time. I bought a couple of these from Red Wolf, rather. I'm sorry. I just woke up, work at night, Anyway, another story. But Red Wolf Airsoft, and I was able to secure 2 of these. And I have, I think, 3 of these. So, I have enough magazines to work with this gas blowback. I don't use it that often anymore because I have much higher end. Because the S&T is a low end gas blowback, I would call it a starter, is what I will call it. And as anybody knows, as far as magazines are concerned, I mean, these things will leak eventually. They will leak eventually. Now, this magazine, the one that comes with the S&T, these are difficult to get apart. I mean, you've got to punch these pins out that are right here, if you want to put new seals in. And, it's just kind of a pain in the ass, the way they design this magazine for, if you want to rebuild it. This is basically not too different. I mean, you've got to punch these out, and it's somewhat of a pain, but I never had to open these. So, matter of fact, I did have one that I had to open. It was one of these, but I, haven't had to open one since. But if you just maintain it regularly with gas, keep, some lubrication in there so that the seals don't dry out, you generally won't have a leaking problem. One thing you will get is when you're using it a lot, you'll get a lot, and it gets very cold, you'll get leaking. And of course, if you drop it, you don't want to drop it on a hard ground. But generally, they function pretty fine. Now, I haven't had these out in a very long time, so I'm going to see if either one of these magazines is leaking. Okay. One thing about filling the actual S&T, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a size difference or something, but these have always sprayed gas when you tried to fill them. So anyway, I'm going to see if, this one is holding its gas. I don't hear any leaks. Nope. That's holding its gas very well. And the GHK, this one you fill from the bottom. No hissing. Well, it's holding its gas. There's a lot of years on these magazines, so that's very impressive. And a lot of use. So it's very impressive those magazines are holding their gas. Let's take a look at the gun. Okay, so we see here the S&T, what they call the Matrix, and I call it a starter GBBR. But it's very durable, I must say. This thing has lasted for years. And being as cheap as it is, for it to be as durable as it is, I just say, I don't want to call it a quality gas blowback because it's not. But for some reason, the thing holds together. That's all I can say about it. Now, someone had asked me about, how, what kind of, furniture options there were for this gun. And, I mean, there's, I guess, like with any gun, you can, change it the way you want. I think this is the original stock that came with it. I still have that on there because I just found no reason to change it. It's original stock. The grip, however, I have changed to a pistol grip. This is not the A2 grip, and this will accept, any grip off of an actual AR. If you, want to change the grip on here, you don't have to stick with airsoft stuff. You can actually buy a grip that's meant for an actual AR. So yeah, the pistol grip I like. I put a little rubber stippling on there, and that works really good. Polymer body, pretty sturdy polymer. It's not plastic. It's definitely a polymer, and that's pretty durable. But one thing I found is that there's not a lot of options for rails, and the reason being is I basically have to pause the video and take this apart to show you why a whole lot of rails don't fit on here. But as you can see here, okay, you release those two Allen heads right there, and you generally, if you have an angled foregrip on there, you probably want to take that off because this has to slide forward. And let me see something for a second. All right, so I thought I had my hand tools around, but I have to look for them, and I'm not going to be bothered with that right now. But anyway, the way that the barrel nut is on here, sorry about that. The way the barrel nut is on here, it makes it difficult to find, a rail that will, replace the rail that's on here. And, I'm not too concerned about that, seeing that this is just a low-end airsoft gun. So someone had asked me, can you change it? You probably can, but it's the way the barrel nut is set up on there. It's like they meant it to just have this rail on here. I don't know. But anyway, I gave up. I'm not going to bother myself with that. See what else I could say in this revisitation. One thing I like about the Select Fire, it's very crisp. Hear that? Very nice clicks. Yeah, and for I have higher end airsoft guns that don't sound that good. They don't click that, that well. So that's another thing about it that makes it a great gun. This suppressor on the front here. Let me pause this for a second. This gun comes with this suppressor on it, and it's not removable. I've tried, and twisting it is like, you're going to break something. So I just gave up on it. And If you're wondering what this black tape is, that's the orange tip. I just, put black tape on there. If you're wondering what this is, well, what I did was I put a, I think this is a 13 millimeter to 14 millimeter, something like that. And the 13 end screws in the front. And then this is 14 and this accepts suppressors. So I did that so that I could put a suppressor on, longer extended suppressor on here. And this is nothing more than a thread protector here. But I still, made this gas blowback uniquely my own. What I've done with it, again, I changed the grip out. I left the stock the same. Put a angled forward grip on it. I have a pressure switch with a green light on there on the top, and I have this optic on the top. And I mean, this setup is simple, but it serves the purpose. I mean, I haven't played in a while. When I did play with this gun, this was the setup I enjoyed, and you can do whatever you want. Now I can also stuck a ring inside of here so that I can put a strap on, because you notice there's no attachments for a strap here. Now I have a QD strap attachment here, and then there was nothing else. So I just put a little key ring inside of there, and I'm able to throw a strap on here. So let me think what else I can say about this. Surprisingly enough, after a lot of shooting, this gun, it still shoots well. And I've heard people say that the trigger guard down here broke. Now, I've never had that problem. I've never fooled with it or tried to take it out or change it or anything. So, yeah, it hasn't broken, and seems to be just fine. Actually, nothing has broken on this gun. The only thing that I had to do was I had to change out the nozzle on the bolt, and that's it. So we're going to take a look at how this old, low-quality S&T Matrix gas blowback functions right now with these old magazines that have been out of use for some time. Now again, you saw me stick a little bit of gas in here, so I'm going to go ahead and just use the gas that's in there, and we're going to see how this thing shoots. Now, I don't currently have any targets set up, so I'm going to have to take a second here and set up a couple of targets. If you've watched any of my videos, you know the targets that I shoot at, and where I shoot in the, my little basement gun range. And the box is kind of torn up. Yeah, lots of holes in it, so those BBs are just going to bounce all over the place, right back at me. So I'm going to put this target up there, and at least you're going to be able to see where they're hitting. Just bear with me 1 second here. Okay, so we're going to start with the actual magazine that the gun came with. And I'll take a few shots from back here. Not bad. I'm going to go ahead and finish this magazine off. simple full auto. There's probably not that many left in there, and there's really not a lot of gas in here either. Yeah, it's pretty much done. Okay. Now the GHK magazine. So yes, you see the GHK magazine does go in there. It does work. And I think I'm going to dump this one. Well, magazine, I really didn't have that much gas in there, so we're going to do that again. All right, so we got that mag filled up. And we're going to go at it again. Now, that's on full auto. And you can see that is a very tight grouping on full auto. So it's not bad. It's a fairly accurate gun. Now, it's a little different at long range, but, you know, for CQB, this is the kind of gun that works just well. Okay, so why am I revisiting this gun? Why am I showing you this old S&T gas blowback that probably very few people have? Because a lot of people are quick to call things junk. Even though this is low quality, I'm not disagreeing about that. This is a low quality gas blowback, but it is not junk. I've had to put more Loctite on some of the higher end gas blowbacks that I have than I've ever had to use on this. That's just the facts. This may be low quality, but it is not junk. This is something that if you just want to, you know, plink around in your home, use it as a training tool, you know, when you're not able to get to the range with your actual AR, you can shoot this in the house and, you know, set up some targets and things like that. Or if you want to get into a CQB skirmish, this is, you know, great for that if you've got enough magazines, of course. I think these hold 48 rounds. I'm going to run about 4 of them. And, you know, that should get you through a session. But, yeah, people are quick to call things junk, and this is not junk. Low quality, but not junk. You know, it's extremely durable for its low cost and quality. And, you know, I've had it for a number of years, and it's taken lots of abuse. And the magazines have been used a lot. Not lately, but yeah, they've been used a lot. And the thing's still going. So either I'm lucky and got the best damn S&T that they produced and everyone else got a piece of garbage, you know, or these guns are actually very durable. Now, as far as the, if someone were to ask me, well, what kind of gas blowback should I get? Someone who's never gotten one before. Would I tell them try to find an Eagle or an S&T? Probably not, because those are, you know, like again, on the low end. I would suggest something a little more higher end. Of course, people don't want to pay the cost, because when somebody starts to approach the cost of a actual firearm, they're like, well, I might as well get a real gun, you know. But if you were to get a gun that fired some munition, you know, the blue training guns, they're going to cost you too. So, you know, I don't know. If you want it as a training tool, you can spend that money or spend this money. I prefer to spend this money. But, you know, they serve a purpose. And, you know, there's a lot of quality in the gun, even though it's low quality, very durable. And I'm repeating myself, but I would suggest a higher end gun if someone were to ask me whether they should purchase this. But you wouldn't be hurting yourself by purchasing it. I'm sure as long as you maintain it, clean it like you would clean an actual firearm. I mean, that's the way I do it. You know, I break it down. You know, I oil everything. You know, I run a little bit of oil through the barrel, and swab it out. Make sure everything's clean in there. You're not getting a buildup of dust uh, and other debris inside the gun, and the thing will function just fine. Uh, so anyway, I guess this video was also, partially because someone asked me, to do a second review on this gun, and so this is that second review. And the iron sights, that's another thing. Hold on one second. It's been so long that I swear to you, I don't remember whether this gun came with these metal sights, the iron sights, or if I put these on here. I swear to goodness, I don't remember. I think these came on the gun, and they're metal. The only thing that's, let me see, this is metal too. It's just the body. The upper and lower receiver are made of a polymer. And maybe I should do a breakdown so you can see the inside. All right, so the pins are a little stiff on here. A couple of taps. Yeah, they're just a little tight. And we'll take a look inside here. This buffer head here is, I'm going to take that out so you can see what they do with this. It's a very light plastic. There's no weight to it whatsoever. But with this gun, you don't really need that weight. This serves just fine. If you go any heavier with this gun, what happens is you don't get like complete cycling of the bolt. So, this little plastic thing in here, that works just fine. You can see your fire control group in there, how your sear works, and up front, the firing pin under there. There's these gas blowbacks. The firing pin is here. It's not actually in the bolt. The bolt is a nozzle which allows the air to go through. This firing pin down here strikes the that nozzle right there and releases the gas, which goes through the the nozzle, and that's where you get your your power, your pressure, whatever, your air pressure, gas pressure. And so yeah, that's what it looks like inside. And I had to replace this bolt just once. Now they do an alloy body, and of course there's your nozzle, and that was kind of difficult to do because of the way that it's set up, but I got it done, and that was probably a few years ago, and it still works just fine. So I'm happy with that. Let me put this back together. Before I do, I am using an actual AR-15 charging handle. The ones that come, with this gun, they're made of some sort of pot metal, and they break. And so I had a couple break, and I decided I'm just going to use an actual AR-15 charging handle, and it works just fine. The only thing is the upper receiver on an AR, there's two notches that are normally on the long side here and here. And those notches, they kind of like you put your charging handle in, those notches will fit in and you can glide it down the track. Well, as you can see with this gun, if you can see, there are no notches in there. So I had to grind those notches off of here so that I could get this to slide down the track. But yeah, you can use an actual, and I would suggest that you're using a metal charging handle for this gun, because those pot metal ones, they break. All right, so we'll snap this back together. And again, like I said, these bolts are a little bit finicky. Just tap them in. And there you go. Very nice. All right, well, I'm going to wrap it up here. I think that I answered the questions that, people might have about this gun. I won't even bother going through a recap. It is what it is. It's durable, lasts a long time. Regular maintenance, oiling, making sure your magazines are stored with a little bit of gas in them so that the seals stay lubricated. And even the original magazines, as you saw, still work just fine. And I've heard a lot about, these magazines. People cry about these things. They say they leak, they leak, they leak. Well, if you're running this thing full auto and it gets really, really cold, you're going to start creating leaks. If you drop it, you're going to start creating leaks. But if you use the magazine properly and you maintain it, store it with gas in it, you're not going to have much of a problem with these magazines. I know some people will differ. They'll say, well, I did this and it still leaked. Well, too bad for you. I'm the lucky one. I got the best magazines too. Isn't that crazy? The best gun and the best magazines. Boy, am I lucky. But no, it's about maintenance. You treat it right, it's going to treat you right. So I hope you enjoyed this review on the S&T Revisited. And you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching. Peace.